To the United stand. This is your Manchester United versus FC Astana Europa League preview. Interesting fact before we get into this. FC Astana were only formed in 2009, which means that they were only formed a year after Manchester City, who were formed in 2008. So, similarly, they've won a lot of titles in Kazakhstan. And yeah, we'll be talking more about that in a moment. But we've changed the kit up a little bit. The pitch is black. I'm wearing black. It is, let's be serious, it is slightly embarrassing to be in the Europa League, and there is a little bit of a funeral feel, really, because it's Champions League night tonight and tomorrow night, and United aren't in it. We're in the Europa League. We've got to take that L. But I think it can be exciting as well. Mason Greenwood will start for Manchester United on Thursday night. This is the noises coming out of Old Trafford. But to be honest with you, it's blatantly obvious as well. Despite his little video with his girlfriend, if anyone hasn't seen that, it's just a lad being a lad. Let him be a lad. But Mason Greenwood will start on Thursday night. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has got to go with the youth. And if you look at that team on the left, I don't normally move into it as this quick, but do you like that team? Do you like that team? Mark, if you don't beat the pub team on Thursday, will you call for Ollie to go, says Zayn Miasi? Nah, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You're in there early, but you're in the Europa League as well, Zayn. So whoever you're playing, Eintracht Frankfurt, do you want Emery to go as well? Absolutely not. I don't take the Europa League that seriously because it is the Poundland Champions League. It isn't a serious tournament until you get to the final, really, if you get to the final. So, I think it can be a really exciting tournament. Remember, the podcast is out as well. We were talking about it a little bit with Flex today. Loads of good exclusive topics spoken about United on the podcast. 3rd episode out today with me and Flex. Links are in the video description. Make sure you're giving that a listen. But we did say, very exciting tournament. Very exciting tournament for Manchester United if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer takes it the right way. And I'm lost. How does a team from Kazakhstan play in the Europa League? Isn't it in Asia? Says Southpaw Loves Sports. Yeah, but Israel's not in Europe and they get to play in it as well. I mean, just on FC Astana, or Lokomotiv Astana as they are called sometimes, they're not very good. They're not very good. They played Celtic in a Champions League qualifier a couple of years ago and they got beat 5-0 at Celtic Park. And they got beat 4-3 in the return game. They have drawn with Atletico Madrid recently, but they're not a very good team. They're not a very good team. And this is an opportunity for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to do what he needs to do. Like, if he goes and picks Gomez and Greenwood and they do well, it's great for their confidence. But if he does pick Mata and Rashi and James, they're going to score goals. But I'm not going to be convinced or think it's a good idea, because we don't need to play those sort of players in this game. Look at that team on the left. There is only one player there that will play against West Ham, and that is Wan-Bissaka. You've got to put a team out on Thursday night that isn't going to play on Sunday against West Ham. Keep people fresh and hungry for West Ham. We might have Pogba back, although I must admit, I'm not 100% sure Pogba's back for Sunday, but Martial hopefully back as well. We need to be going into that West Ham game with fresh players. And I want to see Dan James not playing. I want to see McTominay not playing. I want to see Lindelof and Maguire not playing. You can put a team out. Romero, Rojo at left back, Wan-Bissaka right back, Twansebi and Jones. Put Matic in the midfield. Look, I'd sell Matic tomorrow, but he's here. So play him in the Europa League because we don't want him playing in the Premier League. Put Fred and Gomez in that midfield 3 with them, because Matic is just going to be static, isn't he? Matic could have 2 cigars on, a pair of slippers, dressing gown, the works on Thursday at Old Trafford. I mean, even put a deck chair out. You're going to be stood in front of the back 4 at home to FC Astana. It's the easiest job. Even Matic can't screw it up. Play Matic there. That's the only defensive shield you need in the midfield. Fred licensed to roam, Gomez licensed to roam, Chong off the left, Lingard off the right, Greenwood up the front. And that, to me, that team there is the team to go with. And I can already see people in the live comments going, no chance, you can't play that much youth. FC Astana are not very good. These lads are meant to be ready. Play them, for God's sake. If you can't... Rochdale's probably a harder game. Rochdale is probably a harder game than FC Astana. And I'm not lying about that. It probably is. In fact, let me just see if we can do this, because I think it'll be very, very interesting. Get the right earpiece in. See if I can get him in. Alan, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello, Alan. Hello, Alan. You all right?
Hey, all right.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. So you're over in Kazakhstan, is that right?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I'm just trying to sort my headset out.
It's all right. I can hear you. Just want to get your
Yeah, good, good.
tell us about FC Astana. Where would you, if they were an English team, what division would they be in? What's their level?
I would say they're probably bottom of the championship, maybe top of League One, especially away from home. At home, they've got some really good results. They've had some really good results against European teams. You probably mentioned Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
They're in the Champions League. They got a couple of draws at home, but away from home, like you said, 5-0 against Celtic. No, I mean the thing to remember. I'm here in Kazakhstan now. It's what 12:30 at night, so they're going to be playing at 1 o'clock in the morning for them after a flight of 6 hours. So not only are they not that good, but they're going to have travelled. They're going to be tired. There's just no way that you can't expect United to get at least as good a result as Celtic, I would say.
And hence that's why I'm saying we should play some of the youths. I mean, Alan, I'll just give a bit of background because we've just flown in straight into this.
Yeah,
You're
sure.
living in Kazakhstan. You sound like you've got very
That's
good
right.
English. Are you from England or are you born over there? What's your background?
No, I'm from England. I'm from Lancashire. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So been a United fan all my life, but I run a school out here. So yeah, I've been here 5 or 6 years, maybe seven years now, and yeah, I've been to see Astana a few times. But they're very, very, very defensive.
Right.
When they come to Old Trafford, they are going to be really, really defensive. Everyone's going to be behind the ball because they just don't want to be embarrassed, you know. But the defense, the centre halves, very experienced Kazakh internationals, but old, slow. You know, the United attack should run rings around them. Really, they really should. And I think we can expect probably one penalty, maybe two penalties, chances for free kicks. Goalkeeper, very dodgy on crosses. Not a bad shot stopper for that league. But again, he'll spill the ball. There'll be chances for them to pick things up. It just depends on really whether the players are up for it and hungry enough to really go for it. And I think that's why you need those kids, because those kids are hungry and they want to show, they want to put pressure on the first team. And that's what we need, because right now the squad is smaller than it was in the past. We've lost a couple of big players, and I think some of those players in the first team, they think they're a shoe in every time, and I don't think there's enough pressure on them. So I think if we get those kids in and they do well tonight, I mean, if Mason Greenwood can get a couple of goals, then Rashford's going to be thinking, well, I'm not on such good form. Maybe I need to pull my finger out, and he does need to. So I think that's a big factor in it. I would play all the kids. That's what I'm hoping to see, really.
Well, no, I'm grateful for you coming on because, to be honest, not many people are going to know much about FC Astana. I mean, I can talk about the
No, of
Celtic
course
game
not. No.
and I can talk about, they're from Kazakhstan. But my feeling
Yeah.
is definitely that they should be playing the youth, because I think if you do play Rashford and Dan James, we might score 7 or 8 goals, but we've got a more important game on Sunday. And why not give, it could be massive confidence to the likes of Chong and Gomez and Greenwood to start in a big European night against the team that we're going to beat.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely, 100%. I mean, those players, like you say, they need to be played. They need to be given a chance, because honestly, there are three things I would say. Firstly, they're hungry and they need that chance. Secondly, they want to put pressure on the first team, and thirdly, the fans need to know that Ollie really believes in them, because right now he's been talking it, he's been saying I'm going to play him, and honestly, if he doesn't play them in this game, people are really going to start questioning whether he really does believe in those players and whether he's willing to take that risk. Because I would say, frankly, I've followed United for 30, 40 years. This is probably the weakest team that United have ever played at Old Trafford in Europe, and I think that the youth needs to get out there. If he really believes in them, that's what we got to see.
I really appreciate you popping on for us, Alan. And I appreciate it's late over there as well, but really,
Oh,
really,
I'm always up late, no problem. Always
and
watching your show, mate. Always appreciate it. It's really good to have a chance to have other United fans, because I don't know anyone else out here that is. I mean, they're very popular. United are really popular with the locals, but I don't often get a chance to chat, so it's always good to watch your show. And yeah, hopefully we'll see plenty of goals on Thursday night. And hello to everyone else on United Stand from Kazakhstan.
we'll definitely get you on a call in, Alan. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, great. It was good chatting. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for the chance.
Cheers, Alan. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
So that was Alan, who has been contacting us by email, because obviously we've got to go to Kazakhstan, because this is what the United stand do. We go to every game, whether it's China, Kazakhstan, Stoke. So he's been really helpful with airport and hotels and things like that. And he said, I'll pop on. But I hadn't actually realised when he said he was a United fan for 30, 40 years that he was living out there doing a school thing for the last 6 years. I actually thought he was from Kazakhstan. But obviously knows who FC Astana are. And that sentence probably grabbed you like it grabbed me. This is, without question, one of the easiest games Manchester United have ever had at Old Trafford on Thursday night. It would be criminal. It would be absolutely criminal if he doesn't go for a team like that on the left. And actually, I saw a lot of people mentioning Ghana. Not the place, we're not playing in Ghana, but James Garner. I would actually not play Matic and I would play Ghana. If FC Astana are as bad as Alan's saying as well, and they're gonna park the bus, why play Matic? You've already got two centre-backs. Why play a CDM? Why play somebody who's got no attacking intent? I wouldn't play Matic now. If they're going to come and park the bus against us, play James Garner. He's got, Jones is experienced and Twansebi's very, very good. Let's go on the front foot. But I tell you what, I know I said this on the preview for the Leicester game, and I don't know what you lot think. And please do smash a like on the video for Alan, actually. That's probably one of the... Well, it's not the furthest because we've had people on from Australia, but to get somebody on from Kazakhstan who's an expert about Astana FC is pretty impressive. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the game, but I'll only be looking forward to the game if it goes the way it is on the left. So Rojo's got to play. I know we don't rate Rojo, and I know we don't rate Phil Jones, and I understand we don't rate Lingard, or some of us don't, but the point remains that this is why they're in the squad. They're paid good money. They've got to play some games. And what that does, what Phil Jones does, is allow Harry Maguire to have a rest. So they've got to play in this game. They've got to play in this game. But I don't want to see Mata. And actually, I don't want to see Matic now. But there is no excuse. There is no excuse. I think, by the sounds of it, FC Astana... I mean, those who've joined late, we've just had Alan on from Kazakhstan. And I asked him the question, where would FC Astana be if they were in the English football tier? And he said bottom of the Championship, maybe top of League 1, but that's on home form. Away form, they'd be a lot lower. So they're not probably even as good as Rochdale, because Rochdale, although in a lower league, they are well versed in English football. This is going to be a total culture shock for them. So there is zero excuse not to play. I mean, Greenwood will start. I've absolutely 100% that Mason Greenwood will start on Thursday. But Angel Gomez and Tahith Chong need to start. Like, they do. If he doesn't start them, then that is the big red flag. It is, I don't trust these players. None of this nonsense anymore. We had KG Comedian on the show on Friday, and he was saying Ollie's a liar. He really is a liar when you hear what he says. I don't agree with that. I think Ollie says things with good intent, and then things change. That's football. But he has said these players are ready. And if they are ready, there is no excuse. I mean, Juan Mata has spoken in his blog, it's his blog, isn't it? About how age doesn't matter in football, and these lads are, they're good footballers. Well, the only reason they're not going to play on Thursday is because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't trust them because he thinks they're too young. They've got to play in this game. And how exciting it will be if this is what happens in the Europa League, that we do see these lads. Because, I'll tell you what, FC Astana may not be that good, but Old Trafford will be packed out on Thursday night. There might be a few empty seats, but there'll be well over 60,000 there. And also, if they win that game, they might get to play against AZ Alkmaar. They might get to go to Serbia. And these are things these players haven't done. It's the perfect scenario. Sir Alex Ferguson used to do it years ago. Everybody thinks that the 95-96 season, when we won the double and we won it with kids, that was the breakthrough season for Neville and Beckham and Scholes and everybody like that. It wasn't. I remember Nicky Butt playing in the Champions League in '94. Like, they were getting games like from 2 or 3 years before that. Some of them. Gary Neville went to Euro '96 with England. Like, they were playing football before that. That was their breakout season in the first team, consistently playing week in, week out. But they were playing before that, and especially he would play them in Champions League games a lot and Carabao Cup games or the League Cup then. So this, if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is so imprinted on how Sir Alex Ferguson did it, then this, I think, is going to be massively, massively important. A few people talking about Delot. Delot is still injured as far as I know. I would not like to play Wan-Bissaka on Thursday, to be honest with you, but it's either Wan-Bissaka or Ashley Young. but we're going to need those two on Sunday. And Ashley Young's in his 30s, so I can't see him playing Thursday, Sunday. So we're going to have to play Wan-Bissaka. Ideally, I wouldn't play Wan-Bissaka, but I don't know who we can play at right back. I don't want to see any of the first team players playing. I have a fear he'll play Rashford. But I would go with that team on the left. I think that is 100% the team that he needs to go with. And I think that team will excite us, but also I think it will be good enough, and I think it will allow us to start building out. I mean, look, the Europa League, as I said at the start of the video, it's not where we want to be. We want to be somewhere else. We want to be in the Champions League. But this can be a really exciting tournament if we treat it with an element of risk and an element of looking to the future. As I said, I don't really expect to see Angel Gomez or Tahith Chong starting for United's first team in the Premier League anytime soon. But there's plenty of games like this where we can play them in the Europa League and we can play them in the Carabao Cup. And I just want to see him being given a chance. I mean, people talking about Brandon Williams, maybe. But I don't think he'll do that. I mean, we've already seen him. And Ethan Laird is a good player as well, but I just can't see it. But Dhruv Shah says Gomez has got to start. That's the one I'm most worried about. I've just got a funny feeling he won't start him. And I've got a funny feeling he might go with people like Mata. And he might go with people like Pereira and Rashi and Dan James. And I think it's a massive mistake. And it would actually betray a level of cowardice. Well, no. Cowardice is the wrong word to use. An element of fear and an element of covering your own arse from Ollie if he doesn't pick that team on the left. If he does feed in people like Daniel James and Rashford and Mata and Pereira into his starting 11 at the expense of a Gomez and a Chong, then that to me does display an element of fear. And that to me is not a trait a Manchester United manager should have. A manager of Manchester United, I mean, look at Sir Alex Ferguson, the amount of times it'd be 1-1 in a game, but he wanted a win, so he'd go 2 at the back and just go for the win. And sometimes we'd concede a goal and lose a game, but it was that risk-taking. I want to see some risk-taking from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer now. As Alan said, probably going to be one of the easiest games we've ever played at Old Trafford on Thursday night. If you can't play this team against that team on Thursday night, then you're never going to do it. Why would he pick Rashford? Why would he pick Dan James? Why would he pick Mata? The only reason he'd be picking them is because he's slightly scared that there might be an embarrassing result. So let's play the first teamers so we definitely win. But then the negative of that is, well, you're never going to play Gomez and Chong then, are you? You're never going to start them if you don't dare risk them in an easy game like that. But on top of that, you're risking 3 points against West Ham because you're playing your first teamers in a game they don't need to be playing in. They can have their feet up, they can be resting and focused on that. So there's a big insight into Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's management style and management personality on Thursday night. Is he a coward? Or is he brave? And I don't like the word coward, but I don't like the word scared. But the only reason, like logically, every one of us will be sat here now going, well, you don't want to play your first teamers because we're playing West Ham away 2.5 days later. And this is a really easy opposition at Old Trafford. The crowd are going to love it if those young lads play. They're going to be inspired by that. We're playing a team that's going to park the bus. I mean, they're getting 0 anyway. The reality is FC Astana are getting 0. So even if it was 0-0, which it won't be, we'll probably get a penalty or something like that. Even if it finished 1-0, as long as those lads are playing on the left, on my right, on my left, we're happy anyway. So logically, you don't play your first teamers and you pick that team on the left with a few tweaks if you want to play Ghana or whatever. But I don't know whether he'll go down that route. And we're going to see a big insight into Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. In fact, I'll ask you lot, what do you think he's going to do? Do you think we're going to see a team like that? Or do you think we'll see a team with Rashford and Dan James in it? Shiem Sudu Singh says, I bet my wife if United wins the next 2 Premier League matches, I will buy FIFA or else I'll skip this year. Should I be optimistic to play FIFA? I'm sure the live comments will have a word with you, but I personally think that we'll beat Arsenal. I think West Ham on the weekend. It's too early to be previewing that, but that's a tough game because we lost there last year. So I'll tell you what I would say is if we beat West Ham on Sunday, I'll be very impressed with United because that's going to be a hard game to win. Turbatoon says, reason why I preferred Europa League over the Champions League this season, a big chance for our youth and building the future. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? He's got to play the youth. I don't know why Gomez doesn't get any game time. It's so annoying, says Alec Ducasse. There's going to be a lot of people waiting for that team news on Thursday evening, isn't there? Lingard is 21. What is everyone on about, says Oliver Ware. What is Rashford's position of speciality on the pitch? Is he a left inside forward or a central striker? I think he is inconsistent in both of those positions. That's from I Am What I Am. And United going to get clapped this season, says T. And let's have a look at some of the comments. Being a little bit too disrespectful, I think, says Momentum Stocks. Well, Momentum Stocks, if you had a bit of momentum and were here for the first 10 minutes of the show, you'd know that we've had Alan on from Kazakhstan, who is a bit of an expert on FC Astana, and, you know, with all due respect, has basically said that they will be whipping boys on Thursday night for United. So it's not about a lack of respect. It actually is a little bit about a bit of researched reality. As I said, they were FC Astana. I think they've won 5 titles. They're third in their league at the moment with a couple of games in hand. But it's the Kazakhstan league, and they got smashed by Celtic at Celtic Park 2 years ago, 5-0. They're not a very good team at this level. It's not disrespectful to say that. It's a reality. United should be winning this game. I would say at least 4-0 on Thursday night, but I'm not going to predict 4 or 5-0 because actually, if he goes with that team, I don't care what the score is, as long as we get the 3 points, because I want to see some progression. I really, really do. Look at 16-year-old Ansu Fati starting in a Champions League game against Dortmund, and we are discussing about our youngsters will even start against Astana, says Obazan. Exactly. I said this on was it Saturday or Sunday night where Fati played against Valencia. 16 years of age, playing in a La Liga game that matters, and here he is playing, I think, away in Dortmund at 16 years of age for Barcelona. They're producing another great talent, and Barcelona are interested in Angel Gomez. I said this a few weeks ago. If Angel Gomez was at Barcelona, he would have played by now. He would have played games for that first team. So there is no look. In many ways, I find that really good. Because again, it takes an excuse away from Ollie. If he doesn't pick these youngsters, everyone's going to go, look at Fati at Barcelona for 16. I'm not talking about someone's weight as well. That's his surname, Ansu Fati. At Barcelona, he's 16 years of age and he's playing. Look at what Chelsea are doing. They're playing their youth. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't have any excuses. He's at a club that has been brought up and is absolutely intrinsically linked to promoting youth. That's what we've been around about for decades. There is a set of youth players that many of us think are more deserving than the crap deadwood that we've got. We are a team, we are a club that plays youth. There is some youth there. One of our rivals in the Premier League that never plays youth is playing youth, and it's exciting at Chelsea. Barcelona are playing a 16-year-old. There is no excuse not to do this. As I said, Thursday night is more symbolic and more important than the game at the weekend where we had a few injuries. Because this is not a Premier League game. This is a Europa League game against a European minnow at Old Trafford, a whipping boy, so to speak. And if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't select Greenwood, Gomez and Chong, then we've got Houston, we've got a problem. Because there is no excuse for it now. He's talking the talk and he's not walking the walk. He's got to do it. How confident are you that he'll do it as a percentage? I'm 100% sure Mason Greenwood will start. Gomez and Chong, I'm only 50-50 at this point. So I would say I'm only about 60% that he's going to go with a team like that. I actually think he will pick Rashford. He will pick Dan James, which I think is a massive mistake with such a big game at the weekend. I am doing a watch-along tonight on the Champions League, by the way. I must just mention it. The link's in the video description. So we're normally live at 8 o'clock on the United stand. I should have said this at the start, but we're obviously not live at 8 o'clock tonight. We're live at 7 o'clock tonight because I will be on That's Football. The link's in the video description. It's going to be a Liverpool, Napoli, Dortmund, Barcelona watch-along. I'll be watching both games. So if you are watching a bit of Champions League football tonight and you want a bit of a watch-along and a bit of banter and chat, you can join me on that. Link's in the video description. I'll be going live just before 8 o'clock. A lot of people saying they're only 50-50. Although Lumar and Alex are 70% sure. I quite like that. I want a bit of confidence. I would love this lineup, but Ollie is too afraid to, says Amit Dakar. When's the next episode of Blood Brothers, says Oliver Manning. I think we might have one tomorrow, actually. And Luke Matthews says, let's just stay positive. Come on. Well, Luke's absolutely right. He is absolutely right. There's no point in being overly negative until we see the team lose. But on the other hand, Luke, this is a fan channel. You've got to give an opinion. You've got to give a prediction. Everyone's going to want a score prediction. My prediction is that we'll win 4-0. But you've got to give a team prediction, and then you've got to say how likely it is. So that's the team I would go with. How likely is it? I'm only about 60% sure. But as I said, if he picks Gomez, Chong and Greenwood, and I would play Lingard for a bit of experience, and Fred, I mean, that front six, there's 3 experienced players there. There's Matic, Lingard and Fred with Gomez, Chong and Greenwood. How many more hands do you want to hold? Like, if they're ready, they're ready. And then you've got 3 senior players with them as well. Let them loose. Let them use. And then also, we're under talking Twansibi. But as I said, Twansibi can literally just turn up in his pyjamas. He's going to have a very, very easy night on Thursday. But it's still a European night at Old Trafford. So I'm really excited about it. But what I will say is, and I'm going to be honest, because you know what? If we see a team on Thursday that hasn't got Gomez, that hasn't got Chong, that hasn't got Twansibi, and it's got Mata and Matic in again, Pereira in the midfield, it's got Lingard on one side, Dan James up the front on the other, I will be bored. I will be bored because I'm like, I don't need Dan James to score a hat-trick against FC Astana to get excited. He's scoring goals in the Premier League. It doesn't mean anything. I don't need to see Mata and Matic have a good game against the European minnows. Like, so what? I want to see Gomez and Chong having good games in this because it's going to massively help their development. But what you've got to also say as well, there might be a sinister side to this, because if you do play Lingard and you do play all the players that are underperforming, like the Matters and the Lingards and the Matic, they're definitely going to have a good game. Astana are so bad, they're definitely going to have a good game. And that could be a cynical sort of propaganda tool for Manchester United to say, oh look, Mata's still got it. He's got 2 assists and a goal. It's against FC Astana. So, and I would flip that the other way and say, if he did play Gomez and he did play Chong, I'd love it. I'd be really excited. But if they had brilliant games, I wouldn't be there going, yeah, start them against West Ham. I'd just be going, well, they've proved they can do it, but it is only FC Astana. So it works both ways, which is why they should play, because they need game times and they need their opportunity. If any game is set for youth, it's this one, says Dazu W. I absolutely agree with you, Dazu. There's never been a game so right to play the youth. And welcome to Ketchil Helsland, the latest member of the United Stand Members Club. And Tony G81, or Tony G81 says, Mark, don't drop Lingard completely. We've all been saying how crap he is for so long. What experience can he bring? No assists or goals in over a season. Use the Ute. Well, look, this is why Lingard will play in this game, because he can get a couple of goals and a couple of assists. And Ollie would be mad to refuse that. Ollie loves Lingard, and this is an opportunity for Lingard to stat pad a little bit, isn't it? So it could get him a bit of confidence. So, yeah. I am not sure about that, says Momentum Stocks. I don't know what you're not sure about on that. I would be happy for these to start even if it was a draw, said somebody there. And do you think there's a part of Ollie's plan that we haven't seen yet? I ask because De Gea, Martial, James, Rashford have all said that they believe in what Ollie is building. That's from Gulo Gulo. Look, I think that, you know, just to go to De Gea a moment, we know he signed the new contract yesterday, but there was a report today saying that De Gea hummed and hawed over the contract, not only because of the wages being offered, but because of the future plans for Manchester United. And he has basically received assurances that United will be challenging for Premier League titles in the next few years. Everyone gets excited about that. Talk's cheap. Talk is cheap. We've seen cheap talk at United for 6 years. When Pogba came in, I'm sure they convinced him to come to Manchester United, saying we're going to be one of Europe's best team winning Premier League titles. 3 years down the line, we're in a worse position than when he joined, which is why he wants to leave. Talk is cheap. And I wouldn't think that David De Gea is that naive to think, yeah, this is going to work. He's got to be rewarded for that. There are no guarantees is what I'm trying to say. And also, do you trust the board to deliver a team to win the title? They haven't done it yet. They've spent a bit of money, but they've not got the right people in to build it. you're pissing in the wind, aren't you? You're chucking money into a bloody blow dryer. It's getting blown all over the place. They need to get a director of football in who will then start to recruit the right sort of players. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer could be building the best bloody castle you've ever seen. But if it's built out of sand, it's going to come down on the first thunderstorm. And Rashford and Martial and De Gea, they can talk about what they bloody well like. They're footballers at the end of the day. What do they know about winning Premier League titles? De Gea did it a long, long time ago. Martial and Rashford have never bloody done it. So I don't take a lot of note of what footballers are saying. Marcus Rashford, good footballer. What does he know about winning a title? Just because he says, oh, Ollie's building something. But what are you basing that on? What's your experience of building anything? And for anybody who says, oh, well, a footballer knows more than you or us, Mark, what a load of bollocks. Paul Gascoigne was a brilliant footballer. He'd be one of the worst coaches ever. Just because you've got genius in your feet doesn't mean you're a genius upstairs. So I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has got anywhere near the tools to build a football team capable of winning a title at the moment. You need at least £300 million spending on that team, and he probably won't get that. So Ollie is an idiot if he doesn't start doing what's on the left very, very soon. He needs Gomez and Chong and Greenwood to be superstars because he probably won't get the money from upstairs to build a team of superstars. And at the moment, we've only got two arguably world-class players, Pogba and De Gea. The rest of them are all hovering around potential, good and not good enough. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's got to find another 4 or 5 top class players. Wan-Bissaka can do it. Dan James might do it. Martial could do it. Who are the other two? Are we going to get money to buy that sort of quality, or are we going to have to cultivate that sort of quality? And if we're cultivating that sort of quality, he's got to start doing what's on the left. And that starts on Thursday. Mark, wear a Borat costume during the show when you play them, says Zain Miassi. And Anu Palyapan says, what about Delo? Also Garner in for Matic. Pereira should play as we need a free kick expert. We'd line up on left who takes free kicks, Fred, Pereira or Garner. Well, Anu makes a very good point there, because remember what Alan said. And if you are a little bit late on this video, I urge you to listen to the first 10 minutes. We had Alan over from Kazakhstan talking about FC Astana, saying they'll park the bus. They're not a very good team. And also that their goalkeeper is suspect on crosses. So that would be something to hit at. Mark, will you do your show in 3D and some cheerleaders also, says Zain Miassi. Yes, of course I will, Zain. Got no idea how to do it. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. That is your Manchester United versus FC Astana preview show. We are live tomorrow just after 1:30. So if you're on your lunch or you're off, join me just after 1:30 tomorrow lunchtime, because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is doing his press conference. So we'll be doing an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer press conference reaction for that. Also, I'm going to be over on That's Football in about 15 minutes doing a Champions League watch along. So join me for that. Sorry we couldn't do the 8 o'clock show tonight, but with Champions League football, we've moved it an hour early. I will be on That's Football in about 15 minutes. The link's in the video descriptions for the Champions League watch along. And finally, the podcast is out today, episode 3 with me and Flex. Make sure you're giving it a listen. It's on iTunes, Spotify. There's a way to listen. Very easy. Links in the video description for that as well. Really good hour chat about not only United, the Premier League, topical stuff we call it. So make sure you support and give the podcast a listen. Like all our content, absolutely free. Thanks for watching, and please smash a like on the video for Alan from Kazakhstan. Really gave us some interesting insight there on a team that nobody's got a bloody clue about, and I really enjoyed that. I'll see you on That's Football. If you're going to join me in about 15 minutes, the link's in the video description. Listen to the podcast, smash a like, and I'll speak to you all tomorrow lunchtime on this channel for Ollie's press conference reaction.